chosen ones, empaths. In regards to the narcissist and future faking, what you've got to understand is that at the time when they were promising you the sun, moon, and stars, they were actually in tune with these ideas. It wasn't necessarily something they were entirely faking. It wasn't something that they didn't want. It wasn't something that they didn't plan on doing, right? I know I've called it future faking, but what I'm saying is at the time when they was telling you, I'm going to promise you the sun, moon, and stars, I'm going to give you a child, I'm going to get married to you, we're going to go on a worldwide tour, and we're going to travel around, or whatever it is they were promising you, you have to understand that the narcissist wanted to keep you they wanted you to keep them in their good books, in your good books. So they told you what you wanted to hear. Okay? And at the time when they were telling you these things, the relationship was probably going reasonably well. You were supplying them a high amount of potent supply, right? So yes, they would promise you anything. The reason why these promises and this future that they promised us never lives up to expectations is actually because our supply starts to get withered. Our supply starts to run dry, and that's no fault of our own. But being with a narcissist is very depleting. They deplete us of all our energy. We become a shell of ourselves, right? We go through the devaluation. We go through, like, they're firmly trying to clutch to their mask, especially the covert narcissists. They're firmly grabbing hold of their mask, and they don't want to let you see the real them, right? So this is another reason why they'll promise you everything, the sun, moon, and the stars. They'll promise you everything that you want, right? Because they don't want to let it slip out of them that they're actually got an evil agenda about you, okay? But the ultimate goal for, say, promising marriage, I'm not disputing that the narcissist might have been promising you marriage. Yes, they may have been promising you it. Yes, they may have given you marriage, but they might have actually been doing it for a separate agenda, okay? They might have been promising to get married to you so they can take you to the cleaners in a divorce. They might have been promising you a child so that they can actually snatch this child out of your life and never let you be a part of that child's life. That's the type of individuals that these lot are, okay? But the narcissist was on board with the idea at some point, you know? They were on board with the idea. And the reason why I say this is because shortly before the discard, the narcissist, one of the narcissists that was in my life, my ex-narcissist, it's happened on other times as well, even with these psychopaths that I was involved with. But the narcissist said to me, do you want me to, should we have a baby? Like, what would you do if I got pregnant? That was the exact words. What would you do if I got pregnant? And for some reason, I don't know why, I had no reason to say it. God was just guiding me, yeah? Like, so it's going to sound quite shocking, my response to you guys. But I said I would like a DNA test. And the reason why I responded I would like a DNA test, and my thought process behind why I responded that, and they lashed out at me and stuff, but the reason why I responded that is because they was on a contraceptive pill. So my idea is, like, if they immediately got pregnant, it doesn't make sense because we'd been intimate time and time again. You hadn't had a baby. So if you just popped up with a baby, then it seems like to me that, you know, it don't make sense, you know, if you was on a contraceptive pill. I don't want to just have, I want to plan a baby, you know. I was at that point in my life where I'd want to plan having a child. I didn't want to just have a surprise child, you know. I'd like to plan on having a child. But I'm glad I said that response because I don't know, maybe the new supply was involved in that time. And narcissists are that delusional and that messed up in their heads. They would actually sleep with someone else, come back to you, and make you raise a child that's not actually yours. And I know for a fact that the narcissist that was involved in my life is that malicious and that disgusting that they would actually do something like that. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It will take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. But the reason why I broke down future faking like this is because a lot of you feel like, you know, you was promised the world, you was promised this, and perhaps it didn't live up to expectations. They didn't do the things they were saying they were going to do, right? But I'm trying to make it clear to you that at the time when you were having these discussions, they wanted to keep you on side. They were desperate to keep you on side. So they would have done anything they possibly can. They would have had a child of you. They would have got married if you had the means to get married at that precise time. If the opportunity was right and you had the means to do it, you had the finances to do it and stuff like that. They would have done it at that time. And I'm not saying that their ulterior motive might have been like, yeah, I'm going to marry them so I can lock them down. Yeah, I'm going to give them a child so I'm connected to them for life, you know. They've got ulterior motives behind it. I'm not denying that. This is what I'm saying. Or like I said earlier on, they might have wanted to get married to you so they can divorce you and take some of your finances or something like that. This is what they're like. But what a lot of us see is what happens is because our supply starts to get withered away, not through no fault of our own, you know, we naturally run dry of supply because we're being drained day in, day out. We're being drained by these narcissists. What we see is the narcissist often will discard us, or maybe they were too abusive, so you had to cut them off, and they'll go with a new supply and start doing the things with the new supply that they promised you, i.e. getting married, having a child, going traveling, whatever it might be, whatever they promised you, you'll see them start doing it with the new supply. And what I want you to understand is the reason why they're doing that with the thought of you in mind. When they're acting out on this pattern of procedure, they're acting out in this way, doing the things that they promised you that they would do with you. They're doing it with someone else. They're doing it as a revenge. They're doing it to make you jealous. They're doing it to hurt your feelings. And what you got to understand that happens in a narcissistic dynamic relationship is at one point they were love bombing you. At one point, you know, they didn't want to put a foot wrong. They wanted to appease you. They wanted to keep you in their... They wanted you to keep them in your good books, right? They wanted to stay in a good light around you, right? But what starts to happen as our supply starts to fade, you know, we start challenging them. We start calling them up on their BS. They start to get inflicted with narcissistic injuries. And what the transition is it goes from them wanting to love bomb you and then wanting to be around you to them wanting to destroy you, right? It comes to the forefront. Ultimately, through these future faking ideologies, whether it was marriage, kids, traveling, ultimately, I reckon at the core of all of these agendas, they were looking for destruction, right? And what I mean by that is if they had a child of you, they might have tried to take that child out of your life. So you've got a missing link in your life. You're connected with a child psychologically, mentally, physically, and then they snatch that child out of your life to destroy you. That's what I believe a lot of them want to do. If it was marriage, they might have wanted to get you married so they can lock you down. And then a few years down the line, they take you through a divorce, a messy divorce. And then they end up taking some of your finances and they put you through whole hell on earth, you know. This is what they like to do. But this is the transition that happens, right? It transitions from wanting to love bomb you to wanting to destroy you. And that's why you can't understand when you see the unmasking. It's always been there beneath the mask. They've always wanted destruction. They've always wanted to destroy you. It was just hidden by this mask. It was hidden by this false reality that they painted to you, right? but they ultimately like and get satisfaction of seeing you suffer, of seeing you cry, of seeing you down, of seeing you miserable. They love it. They love to see you like that. They love to see you in that state, okay? But what I want you to do, like, is not be upset about the life that you've not got to live with them. You need to count it as a blessing. You know, if you didn't get married to them, that's a blessing. If you got married and you managed to get out of it, that's a blessing too. You know, if you've got children together, you're blessed because you've had children. It's a blessing. And you've got an important role on your hands now, and to do the utmost you possibly can to make sure that the child is not corrupted by the narcissistic parent. You know, you've got a real job on your hands, and I'm not saying that I could possibly even do it. It would be very hard for me to do it. I don't actually have children at the moment, so I take my hat off to you. You know, if you're dealing with a narcissist and you've got young children, what I would suggest for you to do is, especially if they're young, is to look into parallel parenting. That's what I always say. It stops the narcissist being able to turn up at your house. You meet in a neutral location. You communicate through an app. That's the best way. And you use the grey rock method by not showing any interest in what the narcissist has to say. If the narcissist is talking about your kids, you can show interest. If the narcissist is talking about you and them, or talking about some argument, or just show it no interest, pay it no mind, pay it no attention. But guys, don't be upset. Sorry, guys or ladies, don't be upset about, you know, this future that didn't happen with the narcissist. You know, they were promising you the sun, moon, and the stars. They were promising you this fantasy life. Don't be upset about it. You know, you've escaped the clutches of the narcissist if you're away now. If they're out of your life, you're away now. If they're not out of your life, I seriously advise you to pack your bags and get out as quietly as possible, and don't leave all guns blazing. Get out as quietly as possible. It's the best way you can do things. You know, I know some of us feel trapped in a situation, but God will make a way out of you. Promise you, it will be all right. The universe will make a way out for you. Going back to, if you see the narcissist living this life that they promised you with a new supply, you know, you've got to look into the mind of the narcissist. The narcissist has got constant reminders of you. These were things that you lot discussed when you were having pillow talk, when you were close. They were discussing these future fake-ins with you. They're trying to destroy you. That's why they've gone out of their way to try and give the new supply a life that they promised you. You know, the new supply might not even be into that, but they're giving them this life that they promised you. If they know you're watching on social media and they know you're catching up with things, they know you're watching, they're trying to destroy you. So my advice is stop looking at their life, focus on yourself, focus on your healing journey, and everything will be all right. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find a link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find a link in the description box. Currently, I've got the secondary channel, the spiritual channel. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.